Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first video in a while. And it's quite an interesting video. I've got in my hands something very sought after, very rare, possibly one of the rarest soaps now available, and it smells divine. Now, I've only had experience of 2, maybe 3 soaps containing this scent in the past, and I've not been a big fan, mainly because the scent has been very artificial. And with this soap, it is not. You'll notice the video has no clue in the header as to what soap this is, and there's nothing mentioned in the copy attached to the video. So it's a guessing game. Now, it's a German soap, I believe. It's, how can I put it, talked about in hallowed terms by anyone who's used it. It used to come in big sizes, and I can understand why from the smell. Now, I've not used it yet. Today is the first attempt at using it. I received it in a trade. I had a tub of Wickham's, which, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love, but I'm on a no-buy 2018 for soaps, and I wanted to try something new, and I thought, okay, someone wanted this soap that I've got that I don't use a massive amount of, because it's a Christmas scent. I thought I can get this up for trade. So I acquired this product, and it is a bar of Clark Cabinet. Absolutely fantastic, natural scented, and by natural I mean rose oil scented soap. None of your artificial nastiness, no. Actual rose oil, and it smells beautiful. It's like sticking your head in a rose bush. Well, sticking your nose in a rose bush without any of the unpleasantries of the thorns. Now you know what it is, and you'll understand why I'm quite excited to try it, because everyone, like I say, speaks about it in hallowed terms, and they find it absolutely fantastic. The only criticism I can levy against it now, at this point in time, is the way it's packaged. Because it's not like a puck that you can lather from, it's a bar. So what I've done, I have scraped some soap into my shave bowl, bloomed it ever so slightly to soften it, and I've pressed it in. I was going to use a badger brush, but I noticed lately, well, all the time really, that my badgers really require a lot of soap, and to get an easy, consistently good lather, I'm finding myself, for the first few times of using a product, is to use one of my synthetic brushes. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to use my Razor Rock Monster, and for the razor I'm going to be using the Mercure Future on a 422 type setup, and an Astra Superior stainless blade. We've got 2 days growth, just making me look a little bit untidy, so we're going to get rid of that. Hot towel literally a moment before this video started, so let's crack on. So like I say, we have a little soap in the bowl, a little bit in there, a little bit of bloom water. Just going to dab the bristles of the brush, and we're going to start building a lather with what we've got. And hopefully I get enough for a full 2 passes, hopefully a third. It's a very delicate rose scent, you know. One of my issues with other rose scented soaps and creams is that they've always been quite an assault on the nose. They've been really sickly, artificial sweet. But this is delicate. This is like I say, sticking your head in some lightly scented roses and then thoroughly enjoying the experience of the scent. Maybe not a very masculine thing to admit, but I do love the smell of roses. I used to grow some outside my back garden in an old house I lived in, but I haven't got round to growing any here yet. I've been here 8 years this year. I need to grow some because they smell divine. And the lady wife always appreciates some roses on the dinner table, you know. So what we've got really thick, creamy pre-lather, shall we say. Like I say, very lightly scented, and that's nice because for one who could sometimes struggle a little with the artificial scented rose soaps, this just kind of, it mellows it out and it works. Lightly scented is probably better with a powerful scent like rose, and particularly with an expensive scent like this, because this is one of the things that I kept reading about the Clark Cabinet, is that being rose oil scented is it made it very expensive to produce, and maybe that's one of the reasons why it's now discontinued, which everyone says is an absolute shame. There are a couple of clones out there that are artificially scented but ultimately achieve the same kind of shave, but say after my experience with the artificial stuff or artificial scents before, I thought I would rather go for something a bit more real. So we need, it's quite a thirsty soap. Now, given there wasn't a lot in there, we've got a load of creamy pre-lather, and we've got a brush full of lather. Perhaps a little thick for shaving with yet, but I mean, you can see what we've got going on in there. In the old monster, there's a bit in the bowl. And I think by the time it's fully hydrated, it's probably going to be more than enough for 3 passes, and probably some left in the bowl as well. So far so good on the lather. It's nice and dense. It's not really bubbly. White balance is pretty poor. Apologies chaps, you can't really see it, but it's a real bright white lather and it's really dense. What can I say? First impressions on the lather appearance is good. It's got all the qualities you want to see in a lather. I just hope that all translates to the shave, for me anyway. Let's say. The stacks of reviews I've read, they can't all be wrong. And I know your mileage may vary and all that, but I hold out good hope here. As long as it doesn't dry my skin out, it'll be superb. Right, I am kind of happy with that. We've got dense lather, shiny, glossy, just about right. It's holding a peak, you can see little gentle peaks on there. Delicately scented, lovely stuff. So let's pop the bowl down. I haven't bowl lathered in a while, so yeah, lovely light scent. Can't help but think that if this works well, I might grate the bar into a puck and use it in a scuttle, because the scent will be improved, I think, with a little heat. Not that it's bad, it's not, it's far from, it's wonderful, it's nice and delicate, but it'll just make it more like a hot summer's day experience, you know. So, the lather feels good. It looks good. Let's shave with it, chaps. So, can see why it's a favourite for many. Now this blade is, it's a week old. This is shave number 8. And I have every confidence in this soap to allow the blade to perform. No issues there. Like I say, delicately scented. And we've got plenty of glide. Oh, that white balance is awful. Do apologise, gents. Everything's looking very orange today. Let's see if we can quickly change it on the fly. Apologies if it all goes a bit funny, but pressing random buttons. Oh, well, not random, obviously, but it's a touchscreen menu, so apologies if it's all shaky. There we go, let's have indoor. It's a bit better. Quickly play with the brightness a bit, the exposure, a bit more on that. There we are. There, happy days. So, like I say, first pass, nice. It's a 7-day-old blade, so this is shave 8, and it was slick enough to allow the blade to do its thing. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to introduce a little more moisture. Just to see how it performs. I don't know why there, but I had my voice reminded me there of a chap who was very famous in the 70s and 80s, I think it was. You'd know him instantly to look at him. He was an artist, he did a TV series. His name's Bob Ross. Just the way he described things. He put a happy little tree there, and a happy little bush. In a way, shaving's a bit like painting. It can be an art form, you know, creating the perfect masterpiece. Get a good soap, get all the properties right. That little extra moisture really has helped. So I hope you've all had a good week. My week has been a bit up and down. Good in many respects. And then cars. Yes, cars. My power steering decided to develop a bit of a noise. Took it to the garage and had the fluid changed. Bled out, you know, all the usual jazz. No leaks. But the pump is noisy still. So it looks like I've got a new pump in my near future. But I did say give it a couple of days for the system just to do its thing with the new fluid and additives. And yeah, fun times. Audi tax, here I come. So yeah, the second pass, that little extra moisture made a difference. It's increased the glide. That's why I prefer face lathering nowadays, because it's much easier to judge how it feels on your face as opposed to in a bowl. It looks good in a bowl, but it feels better to do it on the face. Build that lather slowly, add the water, and you kind of can feel it when just that little bit of extra slickness comes in, you know when to stop. So we're going to add a little moisture on the third pass as well. And we've got stacks of soap left. That scent is just right, you know. Just gives a squeaky voice there. Rose can easily be overpowering. You can make you smell like your nan. Not that's a bad thing, because memories of your nan are great, aren't they? Mine made fantastic meals, always made the best cups of tea, and yeah, your nans are great. Gotta love them. But to smell like one as a 35-year-old man, not such a great thing. But this scent is spot on, it's just right. And the performance, yes. I understand entirely why this soap gets talked about in the way that it does. Now, I don't know why I discontinued it, but I do suspect it's the cost, the prohibitive cost of rose oil. Because I know it's dear. I looked at buying some, because I like to blend my own oils, you see. I thought I'd blend one in rose for the wife. You know, like an aromatherapy oil type thing. And it was always one of the dearer oils. But by Jove, that's good. That is good. That is a quality soap. Very impressed. So, my thanks go to Barry for putting it up for trade. Absolute corker of a soap, that. So far, post-shave feels good. I'm not feeling any dryness, and if a soap is going to dry my skin, I generally feel it quite early on. Even before the shave is finished, you can feel that your skin just feels like half a size too small for your face. Getting none of that so far. Let's have a quick cold rinse. Just to remove any soap residue that may be hanging around. Pat off with the old towel. Now, like many people, I have a dedicated towel for shaving, but mine is black, just in case. I like the fact that white towels look good, but black towels are more forgiving on the days that you do go a little bit Sweeney Todd on yourself. Yeah, you wouldn't have evidence of a massacre sitting on your radiator or your towel rack, or in the wash basket, or anywhere it may appear to be. But yeah, feels good. No complaints at all. So that was the first impression of the Clark cabinet. Very nice, delicate, natural rose scent, and that to me is key. When the trade came up for the Wickham frankincense, I was like, I had a look at what Barry had to offer, and I thought, do you know what? I remember reading about people saying it was good. I did not remember that it was rose scented. So instinctively, I just said, yeah, I'm up for the trade for the Clark. It's like it was all agreed and things were packaged up, and then I went and read again. I thought rose. I thought, oh, I could have made a bit of a boo-boo here. absolutely know. When it come through, I compared it to my top or the wife's pot of Taylor Roll Bond Street's rose scented cream, and that still has that real artificial sickly sweet smell of rose that isn't really rose per se, it's clearly artificial. And there was a hot barrel rose, I forget who makes that, got a sample of that still kicking around. Compared the scent of that again, there was rose there, but there was other things to cloud it, so it wasn't a good comparison. And then I opened the Clark when it arrived, and it was, like I say, a breath of fresh air. It was like a summer's day in a rose bush or in a rose garden, and my fears were kind of mellowed. And then it's come to the shave today, and they're gone. No fear whatsoever of this scent. It is absolutely spot on. End of story. It's not the most masculine of scents by a long stretch. It's certainly no Castro GTX or WD-40 or the smell of the exhaust for running from a big fat V8. No, it's rose. But it's nice. It really is. And that sounds kind of alien for me to say that, but I like it. I like it a lot. And the shave performance, I cannot complain. Not at all. So, before I start waffling even more, I'm going to thank Barry again once more for the trade, so that I can shave with this wonderful stuff. And I'm going to go and get some vegetables to have with my roast lamb tonight. It means braving the snow here in Stoke-on-Trent. There's a little bit coming down, not a lot, but enough to be inconvenient, you know, and make you want to drag a hat out. So, chaps, ladies, anyone watching, thank you very much indeed for watching. This has been a little bar of rose scented heaven. I have been Nick. I'll see you again soon, in about a week or so, for the final review of the Clark Cabinet. Thanks very much. Bye.